Hello and welcome to our podcast. I'm so excited you're here. My name is Marcus. And today we have a very special topic that many of you are struggling with. You passed your English exam but you still can't speak English. This trick changes everything. That's right, you heard correctly. We're talking about the common problem where many English learners are proud to have their telc certificate, but when they meet native English speakers, they can't say anything. Maybe you're thinking, I have the level, but I just can't speak. That's exactly what we're talking about today, that frustrating feeling we all know when your vocabulary suddenly disappears and your heart races. Today, we'll find solutions together that really help. No empty promises, just real practical tips you can try. What can you expect? For example, simple memory tricks can help you remember vocabulary better. We'll talk about how to deal with stage fright and how to boost your confidence. We'll show you how to practice even without a partner. Yes, even if there's no one around, you can talk to yourself in front of a mirror or record yourself. We'll explain how it works, and trust me, we'll explain it all in a fun way that makes you want to try it right away. If this topic interests you and you want to learn more about our tricks, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Make sure to stay until the end, we have a small surprise for you. Now we're curious about something fun from you. Comment below, what's the English word that has given you the most trouble so far, or which one made you laugh? I can't wait to read your answers. Meet our guest Layla. Phew, that was a long intro.
Hello everyone. But you know what, when I sit here next to Marcus, oh my goodness. And what do I do when there's no one around to talk to? I mean all my friends here, well they're all busy. Sometimes I feel like a silent movie star, with so much text in my head but nothing comes out. Is it too late? Will we ever get out of this? Marcus, I really have to say I don't understand it. I passed telc but I just can't speak. Why do I forget everything?
Layla, oh man, I understand you so well. This problem is very common. You are absolutely not alone. Many English learners go through exactly this. You're super prepared, you learn grammar, you cram vocabulary for the exam, and suddenly, in real life, you get stuck. One thing I want to say right away, this is totally normal, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Believe me, I've experienced this countless times. Not just with my students but also with myself. Because I didn't grow up with English as a child. I learned English in school, just like you, and I was also completely speechless sometimes when I was in London for the first time. But you know, there's a trick, or rather several tricks that can change everything. If you use them, you'll notice this language block getting smaller. And these tricks or methods are what I'm sharing with you today. You'll see it's about simple but effective things. How to remember words better. I'll show you some memory methods, like memory aids that people either love or hate. How to build your confidence when speaking. Often, it's not your brain that's failing but your mind. How to practice speaking alone even if no one is sitting next to you right now. By the way, you'll soon hear that talking to yourself is not shameful. On the contrary, it can be a lot of fun. And now, listen up. Stay until the end, because we have a small challenge for you, and maybe some extra tips. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel if you like the video. Exactly, and now please tell us in the comments, what's the English word that has given you the most trouble so far, or simply made you laugh while learning?
Alright Marcus, I'm excited. Tell me, what can I do first? I have so many questions. Do I really have to start all over again? Now that I've already passed telc?
No, absolutely not. You've already built a strong foundation. Grammar and vocabulary. All super. You passed the exam. We'll handle the rest step by step. So you don't have to start all over again. We just need to activate your existing knowledge and practice speaking. Step 1. Memory tricks. If you keep forgetting, let's make sure you can remember things more easily. I sometimes lovingly call these mnemonics. It sounds very fancy, but it basically means we use pictures, stories, or places in our minds to anchor words. Do you know the term mnemonic device? It's a fancy way to say memory trick. These are little aids that help you remember difficult information. Let's look at an example using an English word. Take the word island. It's spelt with an S in the middle, but we don't say the S. Why is it there? It can be tricky to remember. Here's a memory trick. Imagine an is, then land, where an L stands, and between them is an A and. Or you can think, an island surrounded by land and no danger. The goal is to create a silly image or a catchy phrase that sticks in your mind. The more unusual or funny it is, the better you'll remember it. So for island, maybe you picture an eye looking at a landscape with a giant snake slithering through it. It sounds silly, but it can really help you remember that silent S. Exactly, the more absurd, the better it sticks in your memory. You just make up a story that includes the word.
I've never had that image before. Okay, I have it in my mind. And you mean if I invent such stories, I'll remember the word better?
Exactly. Let's try another example. How about the English word receipt? This one can be tough because it has a silent P in the middle, and many people forget it's even there when they're spelling or trying to pronounce it correctly. Here's a memory trick. Imagine you're at the store and you receive your paper receipt. Think of the P being so quiet, it's like it's peeking out from behind the E and I, but doesn't want to be heard. Or, make it even crazier. Picture a tiny purple rabbit sitting on your exact cash entry item and perfectly tallying the total. The more outlandish the image, the better it sticks. You could even imagine your favorite celebrity trying to find that silent P on a receipt, getting completely confused, which might make you laugh and remember it even better. The key is to connect the tricky part of the word, like the silent P, with a vivid, even absurd mental image or a short, memorable phrase. Make it personal and absurd. That sticks. Or a memory palace. You might know the book Sherlock Holmes. There, you create an imaginary house where you walk through and place words. Our real home, our study, kitchen, all of that can be a memory palace. Let's say you want to remember 3 new words: candle, table, and lamp. Then, imagine yourself standing in your apartment, a candle burning in the middle of the table, and a lamp growing out of it. Sounds crazy, right? But if you vividly imagine this scene in your mind, then when you suddenly think of lamp or table or candle while speaking, you'll automatically remember that story.
So we should be really creative. It actually sounds like a lot of fun. For example, for the word soup spoon, yes, that word really exists. I once imagined a spoon swimming in a soup and waving. Very silly, I know, but then I never forget it. And the next time I want to hear spoon, the image immediately pops into my head.
You see? Exactly. The crazier and more personal, the easier it sticks. You can also use well-known stories or learn words in context. If you like to cook, maybe you can stick small notes with the English word on things in your kitchen, like refrigerator or fork. That way you see the word again and again in everyday life. Or you watch an English movie. Maybe that's the trick for today. Learn English incidentally and write down a few new words. Flashcards or small notes also work well. Flip through them before falling asleep. Your brain processes dreams and feelings and often stores things better.
Okay, that sounds good. Pictures and stories are great. But tell me, Marcus, what if I make up my own stories and still forget a word? I'm so forgetful.
Honestly, that's really not bad, Layla. Every time you don't know a word, it's a chance. You usually remember things better after forgetting them than by just cramming. The important thing is not to lose interest. We all forget, even native speakers. Think about how often I've forgotten my own keys. Sometimes words just come to you when you're back home in the evening. Write them down then. Keep an English diary. Write 2 sentences about what you did and what you felt. Speaking aloud and recording yourself helps immensely. Most importantly, the trick is not to put yourself down. Just as we link vocabulary with nice stories, we do the same with our attitude. When you make mistakes, tell yourself, mistakes are learning steps. Every mistake takes me further. Think about how children learn to speak. They stutter, say faffle instead of waffle, and mama always lovingly says, waffle. You meant waffle. They laugh, correct, and try again. That's exactly how we want to live. Correct, move on, but with a smile.
Yes, maybe I need to stop being so strict with myself. But still, when I say to myself, that's what it's called, I sometimes feel like I'm in a mirror conversation from a psychology class. Does that really help?
Absolutely. You'd be surprised how many people do this. Actors in the theater rehearse in front of a mirror to practice gestures and pronunciation. Why shouldn't we do the same? For example, you can explain your daily routine in English in front of the mirror. You can also talk to a photo, to your houseplant, to your cat. Yes, let's practice English with the cat. And another thing, record yourself speaking into your phone. Tell a funny story into the voice recorder. When you listen to it afterwards, you'll hear what you did well and what you could do differently. After a while, you'll notice your pronunciation getting faster, and you'll stop less often. Another trick is called shadowing. You take simple audio texts like a dialogue from a series and speak along with it at the same time. You hear care, and you say aloud, perhaps 2 seconds later. This helps tremendously with language rhythm and intonation. You can do this with your favorite series, with rap music. Yes, rap is great if you like it, or even karaoke with lyrics, or just news, whatever you enjoy.
Shadowing. So that's it. Interesting. I've never tried that. So I take something I understand well and just speak along with the audio.
Exactly. For example, you could start with your favorite audio play, or a news program in simple English, or a news podcast. The important thing is that you should generally understand what's being talked about so you can speak along. And another helpful tip: put your inner critic on vacation when learning English. Of course, we want to do it right, but 80% is better than 0%. When you speak, and the audience, who are usually nice people, they simply respect that you're making an effort. The worst that can happen is that someone gently corrects you, like a light police check, so to speak.
Yes, the police method, I remember. Once I said, the water is cheap instead of cold. Someone called back cheap. You wouldn't believe what misunderstandings can happen there. I wanted to say my tea was cold, and I said cheap.
Exactly. And you know what? That's totally okay. It's even very human. I like to explain it this way. You grabbed a word from the wrong drawer in your brain. You meant cold, but cheap slipped out. Both words in your head start with a similar sound. That's where the trick comes in. Take it with humor. You're laughing about it yourself now, and you've talked about it. That's perfect. Every misunderstanding is a learning opportunity. This is a very important part of the magic. You'll learn much faster if you just laugh about your mistakes and realize that people here in London don't laugh maliciously about language mistakes at all. On the contrary, they admire you for trying.
I rarely tell myself that, but it's true. When my friend translated for me recently, she said, "You spoke bravely."
You see, courage and trying things out, that's already a huge step. Now for the big trick. Start today. Think of this motto: only one sentence per day. It doesn't have to be a whole novel, just one sentence. So simple. For example, you stand by the window in the morning and say aloud. If you do it every day, after 30 days you've said 30 sentences. These are practice units, and your brain begins to accept speaking as something normal. One sentence, and you can even choose freely which one. You can spontaneously express something like, you can do this in the evening while washing dishes, in the morning in the shower, careful neighbors, or on your way to work. Since we're talking about practice, do you know the saying, practice makes perfect? We all know it. But what does that mean? No one becomes a master just by practicing once. But every time you practice, you get a little better. In the long run, you'll become a master. Sounds like a lot of work, but just a little bit every day really makes all the difference.
Practice makes perfect. Yes, okay, I get that. A small sentence can change so much. I can really just start with that now.
Absolutely. Just starting is the most important thing. You can also set yourself a weekly task, something you look forward to. Next week, every evening, say a big good evening to your dog or cat, or send a friend a voice message in English with a joke. Anything is allowed. We want it to be fun.
Marcus, this sounds much less dramatic than I thought. But tell me, what about your promise of a trick? Is the big trick just to try everything?
You got me. In a way, that's exactly the trick. It sounds trivial, but often our minds stop us. This thinking, I have to be perfect, or what will others think? We go in circles. The trick is to do it anyway. Just do it as if you weren't a foreign language learner but just someone who uses English to have fun or tell something. Imagine it like a role play, an acting role. You are now Layla the brave British and you give the role a name, so to speak. Every time you speak, you're playing a small piece of theatre. Here's another tip. Make notes with encouraging sentences. For example, I can do it.
I think I'm already feeling some burdens fall off my shoulders, and this exercise with the mirror and the dog. I mean, I don't have a dog. Maybe I'll start with my cactus.
Perfect. The cactus will surely be happy. The important thing is that you're talking. You're moving your lips. Eventually, you won't even remember how you started. You'll just talk. And a final tip for memory tricks. You can also incorporate new words into your native language. For example, you say to your loved ones in Arabic in the evening, "Now I'm going to speak a little English," and then actually say an English sentence. Or you think make coffee, and in your thoughts you already say, "That can build a bridge between old and new." Okay, before we wrap up for today, Layla, would you like to briefly recap what you'll take away from all of this?
So I've learnt that memory tricks help me remember vocabulary with crazy pictures and stories. Maybe an internal memory palace. I will practice again and again, even very briefly, maybe saying one sentence aloud per day. I'll talk to my cactus. I'll talk to myself in front of the mirror, sometimes record myself. That sounds crazy, but okay. I'll remember that making mistakes is totally normal, and that I should keep going. And most importantly, that I'm not alone. That it's normal to be afraid, but that I can still speak without being ashamed. Yes, that's what I'm taking away.
Bravo, Layla, you've summarized that perfectly, and you listeners out there, whoever understood this has taken a big step forward. Remember, even small steps are steps. Who would have thought that a crazy picture trick or a conversation with a cactus could do so much? Thank you for listening today. If you liked the tips, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications. As promised, comment with your funniest or most difficult English experiences. We look forward to reading them, and perhaps even discussing them in a future episode. We'll see you next time. Goodbye, and keep at it. You can do it, Layla, and all of you out there can do it too. See you soon, and take care.
Thanks, Marcus, and thanks to all of you. Bye, and good luck. I believe in us.